Hello, you are listening to Everyday Superpower. I'm going to start a new series today in regards to multiple fields where body language and non-verbal communication is key, and we're going to look at the different elements, different aspects, and really dial in principles and elements of body language that you need to know that are completely multifaceted as far as being applied across the board in every communication. So today we're going to start with going to a job interview, going to, a potential new employer's office, let's say, and hoping your best that you'll get the job. So this one goes out to anybody who will be applying for a job in due time or is going to a job interview and so on and so forth. This is how you present yourself, and these are the reasons why. So this first video is going to be in regards to open hand gestures. Okay, so to put a long story short, you want to have the palms of your hand frequently on show around your potential employer. Yeah, there's a part in our brain which subconsciously, this is a real biological process that stems to our deepest ancestry. Just so we can ensure we're safe and sound, we need to see the hands, the weapons of the other animal to ensure we are safe and sound. So if you are getting up out of your chair after your new potential boss comes over to meet you, to take you to the room from the reception area, you stand up comfortably, calmly, make eye contact, and you shake hands, right? And you want to ensure that you are shaking hands, very boldly, outwardly, palms of the hands exposed. No threat. Your other hand is not in your pockets. Your other hand is also going to be used to further illustrate the actions you take within your communications. You always want to be flashing the palms of your hands when necessary, okay? You also have to deem it as somewhat a submissive position, considering the palms down position is quite an oppressive, strong, bold force. And picture the downwards force, the downwards pressure, the crushing of any object. Realistically, the Nazi salute was a powerful downwards hand gesture, symbolic of what they meant to imply, and apply that where you will. So when we have the palms upright and when we have the palms outwards and exposed, in a way it is quite submissive to say, I mean no harm, I'm here to be friends, I'm here to be present for you. Yeah, I've come to you, you've not come to me, because I want something you have to offer, right? And then of course you flip it on its head and you give them something they need. Yeah, so hopefully during the interview process you turn the tables and you make them realize that they need you for what you have as opposed to vice versa. Okay, so the aim of the game really is to not emphasize 100%. You want to have some grit to you, some stability, but yeah, you want to apply a submissive sort of context to your communication, considering you're applying to be a subordinate, not an equal, and not a boss of the person opposite the table to you. So that's how you want to be perceived. It's not necessarily a negative thing, it just is what it is. When you go forward for the handshake, you don't want to take the upper position and start dominating from the get-go. As we said, the palms down position is a powerful position, and you don't want to delve into this game of physiological chess from the get-go with your potential employer, because subconsciously they will pick it up and think, what's going on? This is a bit weird, right? So whether it's just side on equality, or if you take the bottom position, which really is the submissive position, giving them what we call the upper hand, yeah, already we're flying into something. But it depends what workplace you're into, what sort of what approach you're willing to take. Purely as, in some particular workplaces they might deem that as a little too wimpy. If you're pursuing a position within manual handling, or heavy duty business and stuff, you might want to approach it with a little more of a respectable, hands-on, I am unemployed and asking for a job, but I'm not just gonna roll over for you sort of way. During the job interview, don't put your hands under the table, at least not for long. Keep your hands in plain sight, because you will trigger the subconscious of the individual, the survival mechanism. If your hands are out of sight, you'll be deemed untrustworthy. In your own head, considering there is a mind and body connection, you will start to feel more defensive, you will start to feel more reserved. The more you expose yourself and have your hands out there and be a little more illustrative, you'll start to flow a little more free, a little more honest. And that's just as important as bringing good information to the table. They want to hire a honest person they can trust, and that will speak way louder than someone they can't necessarily trust. They'll have their intuition is ringing bells saying there's something up about this person, but they're giving good information. You want to come across as honest, and you want to be honest, let's be real. So keep your hands up on the table at all times. Like I said, be illustrative. So when you're speaking, movement of the hand essentially works in somewhat of a hypnotic way, allowing the person to pay more attention, as we are accustomed to paying attention to movement. What moves grasps our attention, and what freezes sort of hides out of the way. That's why we have a freeze response, because it attracts less attention, right? So hold on, I don't know what time it is. I am on a strict time schedule. So palms out, illustrative, hands in the way. Feel free to move your hands inwards towards them a little more, closing the gap a little bit across the table, purely as that's attraction. When we get closer, we attract, and you never know, you might influence them to mirror your behavior, attracting them towards you. And as you close that gap, that's a lot better than repelling and having them move away. All right, so that's not a bad thing. And yeah, it's quite a brief one, this one, but I've got to get off, so I might continue with this one in a bit. But to put a long story short, open hand gestures, open palms, expose them. Don't go out of your way to be blah blah blah, here's my hand, act like a clown, but have your hands on show. All right, don't hide them below the table. It's very easy to do at a job interview, to hide them below the table, to put them in your pockets. Do not do it, full stop. Don't do it in your general conversations with people, full stop. Apply it to every communication you have. There's not necessarily any loss you'll be having in having your hands on show if you want to create successful communication and relationships. I'm signing out. Peace.